It's here, my most anticipated game of the year, Telltale's Batman. What I love about these games from the developer Telltale is their concept. This game series adapts to the choices you make, the story is tailored by how you play. Oh boy, this is gonna be so awesome. My name is Eric, and welcome to another episode of 3-Minute Reviews. Now, all of Telltale's games have a similar comic book style and presentation to them, and that is a perfect match for Batman. This looks unlike any Batman game I have ever seen. I do have some complaints with the graphics though. First off is that the frame rate drops below 30 frames per second a lot, so your best bet is to play it on a PC if you can. Also, the animations look way too cheap at times, and that is a big problem as it detracts and takes away from the heavy emotion the scenes are trying to convey and makes them look a little tacky. Also, Bruce Wayne's facial expressions are not expressive enough. I really struggled to make out what his emotions were when he had no dialogue and had to emote entirely with his face. On the other side of the spectrum, some of his faces were over-expressive and really out of character. Also, his sometimes playful dialogue is very well written, but his delivery comes off way too serious and it clashes with the witty writing. That being said, whenever he portrays himself in a serious manner, it is perfect. As for Batman, his appearance was awesome, minus the teeth, dialogue was really good, and even his voice was great.
Everything I know!
You'll never hold a gun steady again.
For years now, whenever we read the comics, we naturally interpret Conroy's voice, but I think this is a much closer representation to what comic book Batman would sound like.
Why risk open war with the GCPD?
Alfred, on the other hand, is the only voice in the game that sounded way too inconsistent. And while we're on the subject of sound, I noticed a couple of audio glitches where the sounds did not happen, and that ruined the moments for me.
Stay where you are! You're under arrest!
Now, a big chunk of the game comprises of you playing as both Bruce Wayne and Batman, and you get to decide how polite or serious you want the conversations to be. And that's what I love about this game. You can go out of character and be more lenient, be balanced like in the animated series and movies, or you can be far more brutal and unrelenting, which I decided to be. I do wish Telltales went one step further though and gave us options to make Batman a killer. That would have added another story element to the game, and it would have been interesting to see how Gotham and Alfred would react to a murderous Batman. I felt like not going the extra mile was a severe missed opportunity. Also, during the interrogation gameplay, you can only choose 1 out of 3 interrogation techniques, and I wish we could use at least 2, because as awesome as they were, they felt very short-lived when the bad guy breaks after just 1 hit. Also, the combat gameplay consists entirely of QuickTime events. Now, usually I don't mind this, but when a game uses it as its primary gameplay mechanic, that's where I draw the line. It showcases minimal creativity and was severely overused. That being said, the main attraction of Telltale's games isn't the gameplay, it's the story. And let me tell ya, this is a much more gruesome and graphic Batman story, and it definitely earns its 18 rating. Without spoiling much, what makes it so interesting is that it delves into something that aside from the comics was never really talked about: the Wayne legacy. We find out that the Waynes are probably not as innocent as Bruce and the rest of Gotham have perceived. It makes Bruce question his parents and what he is doing as Batman, and incorporating this part of the story into the gameplay along with the amazing music that only further amplifies the already exciting tone is what made me want to keep playing. Overall, I think this is one of Telltale's much stronger games. With The Walking Dead Season 1, I enjoyed it, but by the end of every episode I was like, oh thank God, I need a break before moving on to the next chapter. But when this was over, I was pumped to continue the story. They ended it masterfully on a cliffhanger, and I just wanted more. However, some of the things I mentioned prevented it from being as good as it could have been. So episode 1 of Telltale's Batman gets an 8 out of 10. This was a really good start to what looks like an amazing season of Batman, and for £5 each, I think this is great value. Waiting a whole month for each episode to release though is way too long, and even though I am interested right now, I might forget half of the stuff that happened in this first episode by the time the next one comes out. So Telltales really should have released these episodes 1 week apart rather than 4. That being said, it's a series I'm looking forward to, and one I can only see getting better.
Master Bruce?
Everything I built! I created all of this because I didn't want any more innocent people to die! If Falcone's telling the truth about my parents, then what the hell did we do this for?
Bruce,
What have you been hiding from me? Alfred!
So that's it for another episode, guys. In case you don't know, I have recently created a PayPal donation link and a Patreon page for the purpose of raising funds for me to do more early movie reviews as soon as they hit theaters. Links to both of them are below. Also, a little announcement is that I will be doing my first ever live stream on the 25th of August at 1:30 PM, and I will be playing this very Batman game, only difference being that you guys can tell me what you want me to get Batman and Bruce Wayne to do. The stream will be going for about 2 hours, and we'll see if I still experience the sound glitches that I showed you earlier. And if there are any questions you want to ask me, bring them to the stream and I will answer them live. So be sure to make a note of that in your calendar, and I hope to see you there. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter, as this is my first live stream, and in case we experience any technical difficulties, this way I can keep all of you updated with the stream. Thank you so much for the continued support, guys, and I will catch all of you on the live stream, as well as the next episode of 3 Minute Reviews.